In the upcoming week on Coronation Street, Daisy discloses the identity of her child's father, while Cassie's continuous deceit toward Ken puts him at risk. At the same time, Dylan's fate remains unclear as his court hearing approaches. Take a peek at 13 major events unfolding soon. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel to get updates on Coronation Street. Let's dive in. Daisy reveals the truth. Daisy struggles with mounting pressure as she keeps her DNA test results a secret and contemplates running away when she gets an au pair job offer in Paris. Following a conversation with Jenny, she chooses to come clean to Daniel and Kit about her baby's father. Daisy is overwhelmed. Now that the truth is out, Daniel and Kit come to terms with the revelation. At the same time, Daisy goes for her 12-week scan, but it's evident that recent events are weighing heavily on her. Overwhelmed by the situation, she abruptly leaves the appointment. Cassie covers her tracks. Cassie gets a message confirming her new iPad is on its way, but swiftly conceals it from Steve. Later, when she hears that Fizz is heading into town for shopping, she requests her to grab some extra antihistamines. Ken grows suspicious of Cassie. Cassie keeps conning Ken by purchasing 2 high-end juicers with his bank details. Meanwhile, Steve asks Cassie to join him for lunch at the bistro, leaving her delighted that their bond is strengthening. However, Cassie's streak of deception may be nearing its end, as Ken starts to question her actions. When Ken fakes falling asleep, Cassie seizes the chance to slip out, but the moment she does, Ken suddenly becomes alert. Ken is rushed to hospital. At the bistro, Steve waits for Cassie and admits to Amy that he has started to develop feelings for her. Meanwhile, at number 1, Ken tries to reach for the phone but suddenly collapses in agony. While Ken recovers in the hospital, Cassie stops by to see him. Could this mean her scheme has finally been exposed? Betsy tries to reassure Dylan. Betsy listens in as Dylan opens up to Shona about his worries of being sent to the STC. Wanting to cheer him up, she encourages him to keep a positive outlook. Despite her support, Dylan is still certain he'll be locked up. Betsy reassures him that if it happens, she'll come to visit. As she moves closer for a kiss, Dylan responds by kissing her back. Dylan is sentenced. In court, Dylan breaks down and confesses that he only intended to frighten Mason's brothers with the knife. However, the judge remains unmoved, stating that Dylan should be facing a more severe charge for making threats with a weapon. Shona and Dylan are shaken by the unexpected development, while Adam cautions Dylan that a 2-year sentence at the STC is a real possibility. Later, the judge announces Dylan's fate. Dylan is targeted. At the STC, Daniel visits Dylan to see how he's holding up, but their conversation catches the attention of another inmate, Brody. Brody questions Dylan about his connection to Daniel and advises him to keep it under wraps. Later, when Dylan becomes a target for abuse from other inmates, Brody steps in, ordering them to back off and hinting that Dylan should stay close to him for protection. Kevin struggles after his surgery. Ronnie offers to take Alfie to the Red Wreck, but when Kevin expresses his desire to join, Abby reminds him that he needs to rest following his operation. Kevin's frustration deepens when Ronnie helps Abby by fixing a kitchen cupboard, leaving Kevin feeling powerless. Kevin receives another setback. After Kevin receives more bad news, Abby suggests canceling her therapy session to spend the afternoon with him, but Kevin declines. When Tim offers his support, Kevin snaps and lashes out at him. Meanwhile, Abby opens up to Ronnie about her therapy sessions, but when Kevin walks in and sees them laughing, he storms out in frustration. David lies to Shona. David tells Shona that he's planning to do home visit haircuts to earn some extra cash, but once she leaves, he quickly calls Andy. Later, Andy hands David money for his latest illegal job, and David admits he's open to taking on as many jobs as needed. Unbeknownst to David, Andy signals to a young man nearby who has been observing the entire conversation. Todd has another encounter with Julie. Todd spends the night with the man he met at the recent singles event at the hotel, and is caught off guard when he spots Julie at the hotel reception. Later in the week, Eileen convinces Julie to have lunch with her. After uncovering the true reason behind Julie's return, Todd and George encourage her to come clean to Eileen. Carla returns home. After her ordeal during Rob's prison escape, Carla is released from the hospital and heads back home. When Ryan and Betsy welcome her, Carla feels a sense of disappointment upon realizing that Lisa isn't there. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.